Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my channel. My name is Mr. Macemaker and this is Paralives Meets the Tarot Early Access. I'm so excited to finally start playing this beautiful game, and I wanted to start true to my own particular style, meaning mixing it with Tarot Arcana. This will not be a typical visit to the main features to try the functionality of the game. Of course, we may find some bugs here and there, glitches, all that jazz. Please take into consideration that this is early access and it is being fixed and adding features as we speak. So yeah, the game will develop much more and much better than now. I will skip the tutorial and if possible other repetitive parts, mostly because I assume that if you've reached my channel, you might have watched at least a few videos of Paralives before, so I don't want to bore you, and I don't feel that I would be able to make a presentation of the game more clear and well spoken than the many marvelous YouTubers who have already done it. So what will I do? Well, I'll be playing rotationally. For those who don't understand the term, it means switching households after some time. For me, it is fixed amount of usually 4 days in-game, equivalent to a year in my playstyle in other games like The Sims. We have to see if that's good enough for this particular game. The big idea behind this playstyle is to know more about many paras in the neighborhood and watch the stories they live from many perspectives as possible. I really don't know if the game might have some limitations for this playstyle, so we will be testing it and adapting on the march. For starters, I'll be playing the households that are included in the wagon train of the tutorial. I feel that this will be a good variety of personalities and interests to fully explore the game and various narrative lines. The other important aspect of my playstyle is the Tarot Arcana. I am playing my own Tarot Legacy Challenge in The Sims 4 with my own rules specifically tailored to each expansion pack possibility and everything that each Major Arcana means to me. There we are playing just one family, so each heir is a random Major Arcana, but here I wanted to be a little more respectful of the lore that's already given to the characters, so I decided beforehand which Major Arcana each of these 19 paras would represent. Of course, I don't want it to be a static thing. I'm already thinking about adding a random card, this time major or minor, right or reverse, but maybe in few chapters of each para in order to fully know them before adding that extra layer. Just as a little disclaimer, I'm from Argentina and my mother tongue is Spanish. I know my English is understandable enough for most people, but this is my friendly warning that I'll be butchering grammar, pronunciation, and everything in between. I'll do my best to learn and correct myself, but I make no promises here. Enough chit chat, let's start with the presentation of our beautiful para for this very first chapter. Her name is Samantha Stark and she's the Justice. Why, you may ask? Well, as we see here on the personality panel, she's quite clever and charismatic. She already has developed quite a lot of these two skills. She's not terrible at motor skills, but she lacks in the creativity department. So she's logical and goal-oriented. She strives for perfectionism and clear boundaries. She's quite ambitious and both hard and smart worker. We can see here she's perceived by others as serious and she prefers to be on her own without anyone bothering her with chit chat and gibberish. She's quite good at socializing with people. She's not shy at all, but she doesn't waste her time. She interacts in a more strategic and purposeful way. That doesn't mean that she's a manipulative girl, but rather that she's super aware of the exchange that happens in any relationship and only values and maintains those that are fruitful for her. As we can see here, her talent is technology, which means mostly programming for now. As a matter of fact, she's already working at an IT company and she's one of the golden employees. We will talk more about this in a second. As you may see, of course, she's vegetarian, neat, and an early bird. She has a strict morning routine where she often exercises, going for a jog, doing yoga in the park, lifting some weights. She keeps this routine not only for health reasons, but also in order to balance herself, clear her mind and cope with the stress of work and other issues. She believes that practice makes perfect, and despite not being interested in triathlons or any kind of physical competition, she challenges herself every day to surpass her own limits. She has this kind of go-getter mindset. I will try to wake up early and keep that exercise routine, but I'm not the best at actually following routines in these kind of games, so we will have to see what happens there. For now, she already woke up like 4 in the morning. She's actually programming, but yeah, I think that's because I just started the game, and well, it started at this hour around Monday with my para fully rested. I will talk a little bit about things I thought about her past, her early years, and how she became the woman she's today. So, in order not to bore you, I will put in on screen some building footage when I was remodeling her home, and perhaps something about her outfits too. Enjoy it, please. I will continue speaking watching my posted game here. So, she is an only child. Perhaps I might change it later in a few chapters, but let's roll with this for now. She gives me only a child energy. She's quite egocentric in her own way. Her parents were middle up class. She was not wealthy, but money was never an issue for her at all. Her father had some kind of technical degree and founded a company with some business partners, but when Samantha was still a child, he was betrayed by these partners and lost his part of the company. It was kind of harsh. Several accusations were made and none of them true at all. And her father managed to keep himself out of jail but lost everything he had accomplished in his adult life. He had to overcome depression even and start another business on his own. But low-key, he didn't lose his cheerful and trusting personality, even though he was clearly betrayed and treated unfairly by the justice system. Of course, this is key because it had a heavy impact on Samantha. She learned from this experience that the world is not a fair place, and she felt quite compelled to do her own work there to correct that. Not exactly for others, she's not an altruist. She wanted to do so as a way to make it manageable and better suited for herself. Helping others might be a collateral result. That's nice to have, but nothing more than that. The second thing she learned from her father is to be private with her feelings, to the point that sometimes she's not able to recognize them at all. Kinda soft repression, mostly because she's not interested in sharing them with others who might double cross her using that power and that information. She learned to be judgmental and very cautious about who's trustworthy. Regarding her mother, she was the authority figure in her early life and acted sort of as a role model. She studied to be an accountant and worked non-stop in banks. That provided the financial stability when her husband lost his company. And well, she was who taught Samantha to be smart and a hard worker in order to achieve specific and super clear goals. She made her a perfectionist who can't tolerate untidy spaces or losing precious minutes in nonsensical activities. She was strict enough to make her the best student, practically a perfect GPA, and even piano lessons. Samantha practiced quite a lot, like 5 years, but she was too bad at it and secretly gave up. She came to terms with her mother and explained that she needed to prioritize other things that universities were expecting, but the truth is that piano is one of those things that she's not good at all, and she's still resentful of that. She loves piano music for that reason, I think, as a symbol of something so perfect that even she was not able to achieve it. She has quite high esteem of herself, so not achieving that was harsh in her early life. On the other hand, as one of her many abilities, perhaps the most developed one, pun intended, she discovered in her teen years that she's quite good at programming. She used to enjoy it more than she does today, but she felt it was a long road that also explained part of who she is today. When she had to decide what to study in college, of course, computer science was one of the clear options because she proved to be talented at it and it was a promising field. So she also considered economics because she loved doing business and learning about macroeconomics and such. Low-key, it was also a way to be more like her own mother. And the third career she was considering was law, for reasons she couldn't quite pinpoint at the moment because several years had passed since her father's trial and conflicts. So she was kind of fascinated by that, but she didn't know why. She found out that even becoming becoming a good attorney or even a judge would not necessarily guarantee her wealth, so she discarded law and completed a PhD in computer science. She started working at this company she's today right after finished college, and she continued being promoted to this day. That's 2 years after finishing her bachelor's degree with a major in computer science and a minor in economics, and only 1 year after she finished her master's in computational economics and big data. Yeah, she's quite a smart girl with clear goals in life. Her work is one of the best in the company, only matched by one particular coworker. We can see her relationship panel. Here he is, Julian. For her, he's an enemy, but I already saw that the relationship for him towards her is kind of more complex. He's actually having a crush on her, so yeah, that will be painful. Julian, it's quite a pain in the elbow for her. He's a few years younger than her. I think that Samantha is 23-ish and this guy might be 2 years younger. He didn't come from a wealthy family, and yet just because of his ability, intellect, and good luck, he managed to get full scholarship to study the same bachelor's degree as her and another master's more technically oriented. The catch here is that nowadays they are always competing at work. Despite they are not at the very same job position, they are still fighting. They have this passive aggressive war, always correcting each other on the most trivial things and always finding something to throw shade at each other for. Samantha might be even a little bit more vocal and not so passive, but quite actively incisive and sharp with him. From her point of view, he might have made some efforts to achieve the same position as her, but he has always been prioritized because he's a man and he's a few years younger than her. And low-key, sometimes because he's more docile than her, he obeys quite a lot, so he doesn't speak up. He has that underdog personality that's quite appealing for their boss because, well, it's practical to have someone like that. Besides that, some colleagues might say that they have some unresolved romantic tension, but at least, of course, for Samantha's point of view, she has zero interest in him and finds him quite unattractive and childish, actually. So I would not bet on them to become a couple here. As a matter of fact, like almost everything in her life, Samantha has a clear idea about what she wants regarding a partner. She's straight and she prefers real men, able to commit, able to take on responsibilities, and able to go in the same rhythm and direction as her. She's quite conventional. I'm not sure if she had a boyfriend before, perhaps a really long relationship during college that may ended because she wasn't that into it and, well, she just forgot about him. Like, no hard feelings because no feelings at all. She's that kind of girl. Nowadays, she discovered herself thinking a little bit more about men and physical intimacy, but she knows she would not act upon it. She never did it before and she has no reason to start now. It may not surprise you that she has little to no friends. When she was young, her mother encouraged her to make friends with wealthy people, both in the economic and cultural sense. One of these cases, more economical side than the cultural aspect, was Liam Reed. As we see here, she didn't meet him yet, but we will fix that. Liam was a friend since primary school. He's wild, impulsive, always partying, playing sports. He's Mr. Charisma. His family got tons of money. There are friends and nothing more than that. Perhaps he tried a few times to cross some sort of line, but she kept her boundaries and he accepted. So they developed this friendship, and this is quite an unusual relationship for her because he's quite close. He might be one of the only one that's close for her, not entirely out of convenience, despite the fact that he also helps her to meet more people and soften her image in others' eyes, to convince others that she's not a shark and a bossy witch, but just a woman, assertive and with clear ideas, vocal perhaps, but not more than that. And she's there to help him to fix his life here and there almost every time he screws things up. Other friend that she's actually not having right at this moment, but we will fix it to is Pauline Beaumont. Pauline is quite a few years older than her. I think that's like 8 years or so older than her. She already has a teenage daughter and a toddler son and a mostly absent husband. They met when Samantha moved to this neighborhood. Pauline likes to be the typical wife that makes something to welcome new families, and in this particular case they found that they are quite similar in striving for order and perfection, so they make that grow in each other, not competing but encouraging one other to be better. Pauline and her children are the closest thing to a family that Samantha has. She doesn't have any other relationships yet. She has her colleagues, as we see here, Juliet, Erica, and Armin. She will be meeting people from Liam's parties and little more, perhaps a few more neighbors like Sebastian Marquez or Karine Barnes. I want them to be an important part of her story, so yeah, I will try to meet them too. But on that aspect, it's all that I have for now. As you may saw in the footage, she lives here in this apartment. I've refurnished and decorated to suit her taste. I reckon she's quite a minimalist. I may take off some furniture to represent that better. I think that she could enjoy a little bit of Scandi or Japandi to achieve that simple elegance. I don't think she's a boho girl at all. Actually, I didn't leave a single plant here because I think that she's not that interested on taking care of things, so well, she will not enjoy leaving plants to die. She has a soft spot for traditional things, for example this globe, I think, or this chair, or perhaps even the rug I tried to delete but I couldn't, so yikes. And this grandfather's clock in the wall that I found quite interesting. But essentially she's quite minimalist and, you know, white, gray, black, brown if she dares, and pops of red because she finds them disturbing yet compelling. She enjoys these traditional pieces if they have some historical or economic value, so we have to come up with some history for that rug, for example. But for once I'm quite happy that her style was plain because it took me quite a lot to do these simple things. The building is quite bumpy, and yeah, I'm not used to this kind of build and buy mode. It happened quite a lot to me. So yeah, I think that it was a good thing to keep it simple. Regarding the pictures I will be having on the Let's Play, I have to clarify that I took them from Pinterest, so they may be AI. I'm not sure. Everything on Pinterest is AI nowadays, but in any case, that's on me, not the game. Just to clarify that, I wanted to show her some personality, and she's quite different from what I tend to play, and I couldn't help it to use these kind of images. For the record, I'm more than a maximalist and not that white, gray, beige guy. So she lives here alone. She's not interested in having a roommate, nor a partner, at least for now. She knows she will not be a mother, so her biggest aspiration here is to move to a wealthier apartment, and for me, please, a spacious one in order to decorate and play without bumping the camera so much. She will not have any kind of pets. They are not in early access yet, but even though she will not have them because she doesn't tolerate messiness and fur balls on the carpet, not to mention scratches or bite marks on the furniture. Yeah, she will not enjoy having a pet. She doesn't have a maid and will not have one in her entire life. She likes to say that it's because she feels overly conscious about others cleaning her mess, but the reality is that she doesn't approve the way that anyone else cleans, so she's not able to delegate that task to anybody. Beyond working and exercising, she likes reading. We can see here the treadmill and her bookcase. She enjoys only purposeful and useful things. She hates fictional narratives, poetry. She simply doesn't understand them, but she may find interesting to learn about science or some weird specific thing about computers, robots, all that jazz. She likes playing chess. I don't know if it's actually in-game. She likes listening to true crime podcasts or watching that kind of documentaries, especially for the legal aspect of the cases. I tried to make the general space quite symmetric. I failed miserably. I find out that this is not that easy to me to outplay place things as I used to do in games like The Sims 4, for example. So yeah, I had a few issues there. And funny fact I paid special attention here is that both in the furniture and the accessories she has, they are all silver. She despises gold. She thinks that's tacky and low class. So she's a silver girl and we love her that way. All that said, I found out that I didn't change the aspect of the earrings nor that ring. Yikes. Also, if you know the way to change the texture in the nails, please tell me because I couldn't find it either. So yeah, in a minute I will change those cosmetic details. I've been describing a whole lot of things that are rooted in this Major Arcana she represents for now: justice, the need for order, clarity, balance, proportion, responsibility, clear outcomes, logical processes, even polar like black and white, this emotional distance, this sort of rigid moral code that she needs to be upheld, and of course she's kind of judgy and even punitive toward others. So yeah, I think that these are quite representative for the Arcana. It was a long introduction, but I'm happy we done it because now you understand her better and we can play it without that many interruptions. So let's get into it. First of all, I will make her program quite a little in order to finish this wish and to make it a decent hour to visit the park to practice yoga. I have a few scenes I want to role play with her to narrate her story, but it depends on the paras I will be meeting. So yeah, for now we have to follow her and watch what happens. I made the time go quite slow, even slower than it was by default, but of course towards edition I will make it fast if nothing interesting is happening and I'm not speaking. Here we go with our storyteller, the beautiful Ricardo III. Of course we have to choose, as it is the first one of the save file, we have to choose the life goal pack. And here we have three options. She's charismatic but not social, so meet new people won't be a priority for her. Breadwinner is quite her goal. Big house, on the other hand, I don't think so because she's not that interested in decorative items, not to mention that she will not be moving for a few chapters at least. So breadwinner it is. Rich, job rank 5, and earn a daily salary of 500 paradigms. Cool. I didn't want to start the typical discover the city goal with her because she's not the kind of girl that will be collecting mushrooms in the park, so I would like to do it with other para, not her. She's too posh and too clean for that kind of activity. Okay, we stood like an hour from now. Our programming skill level is up and we are needing technology knowledge. So this one, not the specific but the general, that's interesting. I say that regarding that we will be working at 8, this is quite a good time to go to the yoga place and enjoy our morning. So I'm not positive that the yoga activity will be on this morning, so let's jog on the treadmill for a while in order to start our daily routine. Perhaps she was kind of anxious the night before because she has this new client at work and she wanted to make preparations before even go working. Hence she woke up like 4 a.m. and well, she worked like an hour or so in order to get some things ready up front, but now she's fully starting her morning. I had to repaint the wardrobe because I was forgetting part of the wall and it was bothering me so much. I swear I don't have OCD, but this particular character is triggering me so much. We got some mail. Welcome to Paralives. This life is yours to explore and build. Have fun. The Paralives development team. They are so nice. I'm so happy that this game is in early access. What did they give me? Some money, a stamp, and a duck? I think we are playing in fall. Interesting. Year 3? Wait, what? I didn't expect that. I thought that we were starting year 1. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. I made some black magic with the tutorial thingy because I skipped the introductions and I didn't make a household to start, neither selected one of them. I just go back and came again in order to have the full view of the neighborhood and to start completing my spreadsheet, to be honest, because I wanted to know some general things about them beforehand. So yeah, I think that I may crashed something with that, question mark. The new paper here, we have today the astronomy club, but we may not be having our yoga class. She will have a coffee before work because she woke up so early that her schedule might be a little bit ruined. I found out that the sleep need decayed quite easily on other paras, so yeah, I think that we might be aware of that. I will make her run 15 more minutes. She's actually not sweating, so she might go at work without even having a shower. That's nuts for me, you know, training like an hour and not having a shower and going to work and not smelling. That's heaven. Here we go. She wants to make money and I like that for her. Well, if she will not take a shower, she may continue half an hour, more than half an hour. I'm just watching that this is not connecting properly. I swear I don't have OCD, but okay, she's kind of lazy. I mean, she makes like half an hour and stops. Same girl. I barely make half an hour without interrupting myself, but I thought you were a little bit more used to this kind of activities. Next level and exercise, that's good. Now we can stop. And if I'm correct, there is a coffee machine here that might be not programmed to be used. That's fine, but I don't have another way to rest but napping. So yeah, perhaps she would have a nap after work. For now, you guessed, go to a treadmill. It was a long routine this morning. She might feel quite anxious, I reckon. Hold on a second. I saw this exclamation mark going on. Just yes, he's our friend Liam. Yes, so much yes. Please come here, we have to meet you. Liam, I'm so happy to finally meet you. Yes, I think I will not like him, but I will enjoy him so much. Anyone can play the piano at the Castle Plaza. Yeah, but not her because she despises piano. Actually, one of those who cannot play the piano. But so many beginners have been playing that years have started to hurt. You don't want her to do that. Can you finally play something worth hearing? I will say that Liam is teasing her because they know very well each other and he knows she's not able to play the piano. He knows she's so helpless on music related abilities. So no, of course she will not do so, but let's talk. I want them to be workout buddies, but for another day because today we will have to go to work in just an hour. But it's funny to me that he asked specifically for piano to her. I'm quite enjoying the relationship is progressing and the time is not going so fast, but I will have to edit quite a lot here. Okay. Joke about nuclear energy, brag about fulfilling want, joke about astral bodies. Yeah, he got bored, I suppose that, but this is the kind of interaction she would have with him. Let's continue a little bit. We will try to develop this friendship. I already checked if it was any kind of cheat to make them friends, for example, but this is not developed, at least to my knowledge. So if you know something about that, please tell me. I don't know where she works. I don't know if we are near or not. Perhaps we could have a look on that. Okay, will she start today or not? Why is she having a vacation day? Okay, I didn't expect that. On the other hand, I wanted to start on Sunday, so it's almost the same. She will not leave this conversation. Actually, she will brag a little bit. Of course, he's inspired. He likes others doing well in their lives. So yeah, perhaps they could jog a little bit together or something like that. What happens if I told... Yes, they are running together. I'm loving it. As I said, we are not being tempted by mushrooms. Keep your friend. I wanted them to run together as training, but yeah, I made something wrong. I don't know. Why aren't you talking here in the middle of the street as you supposed? Okay, you may be. The game has some routing issues, especially on her home. I found out that that's quite difficult to actually be at that place. Antoine, no, thank you. I don't know you. I wanted to chat with my friend. Okay, sorry, pal. I love you the best, but I wanted to meet him too. Okay, will he come to us or not? We are going to him. I know he's gay, but for my headcanon, he's bi. I don't mind. I will honor the... Okay, she's having routing issues. Let's run here and talk to him. As I was saying, okay, and she... Why is this not working at all? Wait. She wanted to say hi. Ah, this is his nemesis, Gervais, Julian. but we already know him, so I will not be talking to him right now. She's not new on the town, but they are becoming acquaintances, so that's nice. Love your outfit, girl. As I was telling you, I want him to be bi, at least for Samantha. Perhaps long shot he will be with other guys and make another kind of life, but for a little bit I want him to be strictly bi. I think that they are slow burn couple to take into consideration. She's so goal oriented and so interested on mature guys like him. He's already a dad and he's providing his son and taking good care and all that jazz. So yeah, I think that they might bond quite a lot, at least a slow burn that might not happen in the long run. We have to see what things provides to us. Nice guy, love his tattoos. Now, oh, he's energetic too, like Liam. I don't know if she vibes that well with energetic guys, but well, we could make an exception. We are getting tired, and that's a problem to me because it's all about the strange hour we had to start a game. Okay, become friend with Leon, it's quite a good thing to do this year, so yeah, we start on that point. I want to know about his talent. I know already he's a cooker, but I would like to become his friend too, quote unquote friend. For now, I wanted them to know each other. I also want to have a conversation with Julianne today, so that's important. I will have not to forget it. Now we talk about his talent. I love the situation. They met in the street. I mean, they are neighbors. They already met a few times. She's not a frequent customer on his restaurant, but she goes here and there. She likes his pasta. So yeah, they already knew each other, but now they are having this conversation and it's quite interesting to allow them to know a little bit more. Last one, and we continue our journey. I decided to take Samantha as a first para because she's quite sociable. At least she has a good social skill, I should say. And I think she will be an interesting girl to get deeper in relationships because she's so goal oriented. She might discover herself in difficult situations regarding those relationships, and that's interesting to make some drama. Okay, I will not, I will not, I will not. I just do it on a non-flirty manner. Our beautiful Samantha, she is getting tired and a little bit hungry. She could go to the restaurant of Sebastian and have a bite there, but I would like to keep it slow. She's coming to her house. She will make, I think, a toast with some jelly, perhaps? I don't remember. I saw she was able to make pasta, but her cooking skills not that good, so she would burn the home in her first day, and I'm not vibing with that idea. So yeah, let's just have a toast. He wants to watch some TV to level up technology. Oh, we can pin these things. Only one. Okay, fair enough. Liam is more important despite the fact that she would not prioritize him towards her knowledge nor her money, but let's say that for now he's the important thing for us. I don't know if it was visible on the footage I left, but she only had one chair. She's a loner to the bone, to the very core. I found that quite a good touch. Browse channels and let's check the news. I think that it will be a good thing to do now that we ate. Can we watch while eating, or this is not? Okay, we are floating. We do have psychic powers. The freaking rug is growing on me, and I didn't want it to be that kind of place, but alas, we have it. The wish is progressing. I think that it may take a while. Let's watch some true crime. Let's think that's true crime. Okay, she will use the toilet and take a nap. I don't think she's the kind of girl that takes naps, but only for today she will make an exception. I don't like that the bathroom door is by her bedroom. I might try to make it different in order to have an access from a public part of the home. I know it's quite common most in these kind of homes. I like that she's neat and she washes her hands after using the toilet. Be alone for 1 hour. Okay, we'll try it. I actually would like to meet Julien Gervais and have a chat with him, but yeah, I think that we will accomplish that just sleeping. Okay, she fulfilled that wish and she got reset from the bed. So let's sleep a little bit more. Let's say that she had this dream and she find out a way perhaps to solve an important bug she was working with or a contract. I think that this is a kind of side job she would enjoy and live for because she's so money oriented that yeah, she's only thinking about that. And perhaps Sebastian, but we will not. My wishes were resetted because I mistook the app and sleep thingy. Okay, I don't know what to do here because it's already too late to call some people. Let's change outfit, and then I want to call Julian. That's one of the important things I wanted to do today. I found out that the game is not responding too well to the time key, so yeah, it is kind of sad. Let's say she's dressing as she usually does. Okay, she dressed herself up and she is calling Julian to invite him home. The idea behind it is that they have to work on an important thing. They might go to a cafe or something like that, but nowadays we don't have actually the possibility to go to another place, so our house will be enough. She wants to program, she's so goal oriented. There he is. Let's talk with him, try to sit in the table and have a conversation. That we have several important things to discuss here. These two paras are quite one in life. Bags are bagging and they are beautiful. Oh, she didn't clean her plate. I'm mesmerized. I thought she did. Can you go here with him? Yes, he's entering with us. I mean, he has a crush. He might be having a strange idea now, but we will say that they are just talking. Perhaps sitting in the... Yeah, of course, walking. That I don't think he would sit like that with this girl, but you do you, darling. So they are actually on the table with the laptops. They are working on the same project in order to fix a critical bug, and she's in charge as usual. This time, not only because of her personality, but also because she knows more about the economic processes behind it, and well, she can detect the source of the bug really quickly. It turns out that the origin is not only something wrong in the code, but actually a poor decision made by another member of the team who is their immediate boss. At that moment, she wants to talk about it with the entire team, so they are discussing specifically this here. She doesn't want to blame anyone, but she wants to really address what's behind the problem and fully correct it before it expands and it becomes more problematic. Julian tries to make the point that it would not benefit the team nor her, because this particular boss has quite an ego and might not receive the feedback well, but she knows that Julian hates being confrontational. That's not because of diplomacy, but just a survival instinct and shyness. And she knows that many people read those traits on him as if he was mature, calm, collected. She reads through him. She knows he's not that way. Actually, he's quite anxious. He is quite childish. Most of the time, he depends on her for basic things. So yeah, they are trying to decide what to do with this, and they can't come to an agreement. While she wants to correct the mistake as soon as possible and make it work as it should without future surprises. I shouldn't clarify this, but she doesn't like surprises at all. He proposes instead putting a band-aid on it, barely fixing it just in order to continue with the usual schedule and leave it as something that might have to be addressed in the future if they had time. Of course, knowing that it would become a greater problem in short term, both agree on that aspect. So that's something to take into consideration too. And yeah, I'll make them talk a little now, but I think that they will not be pleased with each other. She will not mock him because of that. On the other hand, she will not be good with him. Okay, I'm trying to hide the plate if you don't recall. And I don't like the way he's seated. I mean, he might be quite laid back when he's not working, but I don't think he will be that laid back with her at her place. I don't think so. He's too anxious to do that. I like that she's mocking at him for being neat when she's neat, to be serious when she's serious. Yeah, of course, they keep on each other's toes and they are just fighting about the way to address this bug and whether tell the team or not about the reasons behind. It's quite heavy. It's getting late. In a few moments, I think that she will say him goodbye. And well, she might have a steady night trying to bug fix that issue. One more. Oh, we can make an enemy. I didn't want to make it so soon, but knowing that this is kind of the story that's already portrayed by the game, I will say that yeah, this time they are enemies. And you please leave this place. Honey, pick up the dirty plate. Okay, he decided to go through the chimney. He's Santa's son. I love him. I'm already loving him. Yeah, you're putting the dishes on the dishwasher. That's smart move. Fun fact, here in Argentina, we are not used to have dishwasher, so I'm kinda out of place when it happens. I find it weird. So you shall practice programming, or you will work on that program because you have to solve this bug and to find a way to tell the team what happened and how to solve it. Easy peasy. Classic day for her, I think. Low-key, I love her nails, but I do think she would have something a little more demure, which is supposed to be programmed for 3 hours. I don't think that it will be accomplished just, hey, we don't have the card here. I thought the card would be here. She will continue working after the shower and the toilet. Okay, she made some money because I assume she finished the small contract. I love how the interaction is being named. Okay, something to address with the bug fixing team, but for now, yeah, she has to use the bathroom a little bit and then perhaps, okay, walking through the wall. I'm sorry, why are you still here and why are asked to leave perhaps? Sorry, I didn't know I had to do so. She's already embarrassed because the guy came to the bathroom with her. As you may see now, the hygiene bar is full. I did it with a cheat. Let's say that she's embarrassed because the whole discussion with Julian made her think about her position in the company and how she addresses some things. So yeah, it is our kind of embarrassment, I think. We have the social pack, a moon pack, or sun pack. Cards grant temporary buffs for 24 hours. Can I use? Yes, I can. So I'm pressing Control F1 in order to use some cheats here. As you may see, there you have the cheat to refill the needs. Let's say that we have to decide. I don't think she will go to the social pack, so let's make it a 50-50. Lowered for moon, no for sun. No, it is. Moon pack for us. You receive a surprise tax refund. Okay. You receive an extra vacation day thanks to an administrative mistake. You have many plans for tomorrow. Okay. For random ones. That's interesting. And I do have many plans for tomorrow, to be honest. Let's say that we go with extra wishes. She feels inspired. She wants to keep working to fix this bug. She's so adamant and so goal-oriented. Let's say that this is a good time to wake up. Here we have our free yoga class. I was expecting it. Show me in the map, please, and stay hydrated, people. Don't forget to drink some liquids. You choose them. I will not judge you. So here we have the community center. Okay, that's good to know. I'll say that she'll first have something to eat. She will start her morning with toast, perhaps. I don't think that a cup of ramen is what she wanted to have for breakfast, but she starts working in an hour. I forgot. Yeah, perhaps she will go to the yoga class in the afternoon, question mark. Then please change your outfit. I would say she's ready to work. It's a shame she couldn't practice some yoga this morning. Perhaps in the afternoon, I would have to consider that. She's an early bird, but the game is kind of weird to me, at least for now, because I'm not used to. She already ate what she needed. She could work some more on her skills. Change of plans, as we cannot go to our yoga class. Perhaps she would jog on the treadmill a little bit before going to work. Again, I'm sorry about all these inconsistencies. I'm trying to play and learn how to do it as I record, so yeah, it's kind of difficult for me. You have 15 minutes. I don't know where you have to go. That's a problem. She might be late today, I'm afraid. Now that you're ready, let's level up a skill, please. Okay, she's off to work, and I will follow her in order to know where she works. Oh, she works here? I did know this building. Yeah, of course. So yeah, she's living just in front of her work. This is almost home office, and some important things have happened here. So the next day, during the meeting with the team, she is, of course, a little too tired. She tried to solve this bug on her own, and she didn't have the time to do it. She tries to explain what happened in a calm manner, who did what, and what consequences each step had. She wanted to be clear that she was not blaming anybody, while Julienne, of course, just stands silent. She doesn't hesitate to say that the main decision was poorly made, and she proceeds to explain why, with all their knowledge and actually making sense, but of course not. We can say that she's not making friends here. She also shows her advances on a real fix that she did the night before, but she's ignored. The boss who was responsible responds by joking about her too clever processes and her perfectionism, and he discards the idea of a deep fix, prioritizing the quick patch Julian made again the last night. He ignores every warning Samantha gives and even says something like, "Oh, Julian, you really understand how to handle this situation. I'm impressed you detected the source of the bug and solved it so quickly." And Julian, instead of giving the proper credit to her, he only nods silently. So the day continues with her working on what she was ordered to do, but of course keeping some grudge about the situation. And Julian, of course, in the other hand, despite he didn't look for favoritism here, he also didn't say a word of recognition or support for her. So yeah, we are in a pickle and the relationship starts to strain. We have an upgrade on our job. We can go to rank 2. Hobby programmer. Programming skill improves while at work by an amount equal to vacation days accrued. I don't know why we didn't have to work yesterday and we consumed a vacation day there, but I didn't have the option either, so yeah. Paid time off. Pay 100 params and gain 1 vacation day. No, she would like something to progress steady and perhaps a little bit slower, but not that volatile thing. And she's not interested on having vacation days either for now, so yeah, I don't think she would appreciate that much. So after the workday, she waits for him and they have an interesting conversation. She confronts him. She says something like, "Thanks for nothing. You took all the credit there and you know I was the one who found the cause of the bug, and you also know that I'm right and it will be a bigger problem next month." He's yearning to leave her speaking alone there. He mumbles something like, "Oh, I didn't know you wanted me to speak up for you. For what I saw, you were perfectly capable of speaking your mind loud and clear, darling." Yeah, these two are getting to fists here. Samantha enrages alone because he leaves her, or perhaps she will leave him. I don't know. I don't understand what's happening with these wishes. It's kind of buggy. But yeah, I want to interact a little bit more with him before going. She's pissed about his passive way to navigate conflicts and how he benefits both from that and this awful system that's punishing her. She will, yeah, as I said, she's pissed because this whole system that's punishing her because she's a woman and she's able to speak assertively and in a clear way, and that's not what this environment want or expect from her. So yeah, it's almost 4 in the afternoon. She will go back to her place and continue working on this bug fix, but I have another mission to myself. I will look for a specific para I want to meet. I will back when I find them. So here our beautiful Samantha left her home. She snapped the project. She couldn't work anymore right now, and she decided to go for a jog and perhaps do some yoga in the park. But she found this very interesting guy actually. He was reading To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and he was actually reading it. You know, the book full of post-its, and he was so immersed in the reading that he barely knew what was going around in the environment. So now she takes seat near him, let's say not that near, but nearish him, and without really thinking about it, she makes a comment about the book, perhaps something about the lawyer Atticus Finch defending what's right despite everyone being against him. That's not exactly a video essay thesis, you know, it's right in the book, and well, it's quite average. Perhaps she felt like inspired by that, and he suddenly looks at her, starts nodding as if he wouldn't say anything, but then he takes a deep breath and points out the danger society represents if it's able to discard all those unfair situations without really addressing them. You know, all those hate crimes and discrimination, they reduce them to outlier cases without taking notice that something deeper and more systemic is happening there. He also says that these harsh, racist, xenophobic events are allowed precisely because the vast majority maturity, don't really think about them or really care about others. To be fair, Samantha thinks that that approach is kinda naive, but the guy actually makes her think about it. The situations she has to handle at work, even her own blind spots when silently allowing others to be cruel or unfair. And also he says something about his own efforts to become more conscious of those things on daily basis, but how difficult it is to actually stay aware of every situation. So he talks slowly and with a low voice. You know, they are in this vivid environment with all the noises going on, and they are approaching themselves in order to listen what the other says. She's able to see that he's speaking with passion and really invested in what he's saying. Funny enough, she starts getting almost defiant with him, pointing out that a more social reading might ruin the book and make the story fail. So he answers that he doesn't believe so. The only consequence would be actually facing the limits of individual morality within a society much bigger than them, without trying to sugarcoat it and, well, actually making the reader believe that only a few fair individuals are enough to change the entire system. You know, it's something much more systemic here. And you can see I really got invested and I really wanted them to meet in this chapter because of the whole justice interpretation here. I thought that these two might have an interesting conversation and really active something inner for them in order to develop their personalities. Especially him, I think that he is quite able to confront her with her own ideas and her own biases. So they go back and forth a few times debating. She understands he's not trying to impress her, not even trying to make her agree with his point of view, but she feels he's right about almost everything. Even if she doesn't want to admit it, she's kind of perplexed. It seems to her like they have been talking for a long time, but it actually lasts less than 5 minutes, let's say. So she finds herself genuinely engaged with the topic and spending time on him much more than she should. She starts therefore getting annoyed at herself for that. Of course, she can't hide her annoyance, which he reads as annoyance towards him. So he starts retreating, apologizing for bothering her with all that conversation, and he's the one who would leave before she can actually explain that she's not bothered by him. Actually, she has too much to say, but nothing really clear yet, so she just stays there. Let's say that she knew the name because of a cup of Starbucks that he left on the bench. I wanted this situation to happen in a cafe, as you may notice. But yeah, I think that the park has its charm too. I will leave them talk a little bit and then continue with the narrative. We are a little too close to them and they are too static. Let's say they are engaging to the chat. They are both serious. Actually, he's quite an artistic guy, but he loves reading and all that jazz. So yeah. And this tree is killing me. Please forgive me for the spins I'm making. I'm trying not to. And Sebastian is tempting me here. It's him. All this time it was him. Let's say something inspiring here. Yeah, they are vibing quite a lot. I like this couple too. I am not sure for them long term, but perhaps something is happening here. Okay, they are supposed to talk a lot, but in a short amount of time. So yeah, I will just pick a card and leave the conversation. Okay, this one will be the last. Let's close it and we may continue to yoga class. So our girl was left behind. She's reaching her yoga class now. She internally keeps analyzing the situation. She felt the guy wasn't trying to convince her or actually impress her either. He was only talking about his own feelings and ideas, and she finds it quite refreshing, despite she's not ready to admit it. On a daily basis, the most significant exchanges she has with someone is with Julian, and actually if they manage to talk that deep, well, that tree is misbehaving. I was saying, if they manage to talk that deep, they tend to fight or try to convince the other to outsmart the other one. So it's actually a good thing that this conversation didn't become a competition. As she passes some time here, she starts actually rationalizing the conversation in a pretty wrong way, explaining her own sudden lack of clarity as a consequence of this guy trying to mansplain her. She knows that's not true. She holds on to that just because she wants to calm herself and she wants to be able to keep her routine and her world in place. So deep down, she feels this annoyance mixed with curiosity, and she made an exercise skill point. Yay! She's bothered by a few things here. First of all, because she gave a trivial interpretation of the book and he was able to correct her without blaming her or making her feel inadequate. On the other hand, of course, she's pissed because she wanted to keep the conversation going on and this guy decided to leave her, and that's kind of new for her too. So yeah, she's finding new things about herself and others here. And let's do some yoga, perhaps to 8 o'clock. We have some paras also working with us. We have here Aelita. I don't know you yet. We can talk with them. And Noah. He's a teen and she's actually a young adult. I will talk to her as a yoga buddy. Perhaps it would be a nice thing to have. And I want her to meet more women too. I don't think so. It's too soon for her to do so. Talk a little bit with her, and we have to reach home and work quite a lot on our project and things. She's kinda refreshed despite the fact that she's more confused than before. She's ironically refreshed and she wants to use it in a good way. Okay, she can. Let's ask about her job. She's a cook. Okay, now we go. Sorry, Aelita, you might be a good friend in the future, but now we have to go home. Change of plans. And it took me forever, so I hope you will enjoy it. Our girl had a shower, used the bathroom, and came to the restaurant that Sebastian works here. We have him. I was trying to make them talk, perhaps sitting on the same table, but it's not being possible. It was actually quite challenging to bring them both to the same place. Yeah, routing with all those stairs and closed spaces is not working properly. I think that the devs are already handling some of the routing issues, but they are just quite difficult. Lucky for me, I want to play it most for the narrative purposes. I'm more ready to invest it on these characters, let me tell you that. And on the other hand, well, I discovered we can also play with the hour here, so it was like almost midnight, but I made it go back in order to have a minute to talk about them and roleplay this scene here. She has to finish some work, perhaps she is making some calls or she brought her laptop with her in order to do some call review. Actually, she also had this call with a coworker. She's not a usual customer here, as I said, but she comes sometimes if she needs a break without handling her work alcoholism. Well, she decides it's a good moment to visit this place. She might go to a fancier restaurant with others, but she prefers specifically this one for work and to be quote unquote alone. The prices are good, the food is terrific, and she has the opportunity to take a look at Sebastian. Of course, she's not in love at all, but she has noticed that they mutually recognize each other's efforts, which is even more significant for her since she barely admires anyone and she doesn't feel particularly flattered when someone praises her job. So she has been paying attention to him. She thinks he's competent at his job and that he makes a huge effort to provide for his kid while being a single parent, but she has some issues with the messiness of the place sometimes. She knows he's too laid back for her and she barely holds her tongue when it comes to better management of the business to maximize profit. So she's kind of giving unsolicited advice too. Let's think that Ellie, the son of Sebastian, is here doing some drawings or working on his homework. I don't know. It would be quite nice to have the opportunity to control other households, to temporarily join them to our household and then to put them back to their proper household. But I didn't find a way to do it in a clean manner. So yeah, let's imagine Ellie is with us and we will try to talk with him in another future opportunity. On the other hand, Sebastian thinks that she is quite a control freak and kind of OCD-ish, and I mean, he's not wrong. She saw her arranging everything on the table before starting her meals, insisting on cleaning her own table, and of course making not so soft comments about ways to improve the hygiene and the efficiency of the place. Low-key, he likes her because she's honest and she means well, but well, he has to handle it with pinch of humor, you know? He jokes with her hiding the napkins or making comments like, the one who works the most in this restaurant is not me but you. So yeah, they are having this dynamic ongoing since, let's say, a few years from now. They also have quite interesting conversations about food. We know it's a clear passion for him, but she also has her soft spot. Today, she speaks with her co-worker. Sebastian is coming and going, attending here Bianca. I think it's Bianca. She's Bianca, yeah. While preparing food, and he listens to her saying something like she found the source of the bug and it was, of course, human failure. And she says something like, he's not a junior anymore. He must take responsibility for his mistakes in order to learn. The best solution here would be making him redo the entire picture. Yes, of course, I will fix it quicker and I will do so in order not to blow up the presentation with the client, but he must find his own way to fix it and do it properly on his own. And she hangs up like serious without saying goodbye or nothing else. And that's the kind of mood she's handling right now, you know? She's bossy and she's a little bit pissed for everything that's happening to her these days. So yeah, Sebastian says something like it was a hard pill to swallow, both joking, admiring her, and fearing her because she's fierce. She half smiles as she's doing right now. She says what she wants to eat, and he makes some kind of military salute, perhaps, in order to keep it light. And well, he goes to prepare the food. So now is when I wanted Ellie to be here because she notices the homework or perhaps the drawing, something like that, and she knows about him. He tells her that he couldn't find a nanny for today, so Ellie comes back to his table and talks to Samantha about something kids related. It would be so lovely to actually roleplay this. He's a kid, he's playful, he has this daydreamy style, so she has to control herself really hard to keep up with his mood and to talk with the kid, but she manages not to be bossy and yeah, to have a pretty normal conversation with a 5-year-old kid. Of course, Sebastian is taking note of this and smiling at the back. He only interrupts the situation when he delivers the food Samantha asked for. So when she's finishing her meal, he arrives again, this time with a dessert she didn't ask for, and he excuses himself saying something like, I need an honest opinion here on this recipe, so don't hold back your thoughts and let me know. Samantha is quite surprised by this gesture. Of course, she understands that this is a way to flirt with her, but this is so subtle that it catches her off guard. She accepts it and takes a bite. Perhaps she says something like the sweetness is on point, wink wink, but it's a little too mild for her and the presentation could be more aesthetic, more clean. You know, not exactly shaving, but perhaps changing that jacket for another thing. Just joking here, she's talking about the dessert. But of course, Sebastian understands the second message there and says something like, noted, I will work on that, just to let her know that they are on the same page. So yeah, for now, I wanted to roleplay that. We are having a glimpse of what I suffered with the routing issues here, but I don't know, this game is marvelous. We cannot focus too much on those details. I'm suffering here wants to be flirty with him. Let's talk about interests. She wants to be friendly with him. I will take a bite in a minute and then continue with the last part of the scene I was wanting to have here. Oh, he didn't like the joke. Of course, he's energetic. Perhaps he would not share that kind of humor. One more and I will have a bite and go home. With all the Julian situation and the Karim conversation, it has been a long day today. And now this thing with the dessert and the kid and the way he looks at her. Let's talk about the social perk. I think that we are able to know things about him. We already know his kid, we do know his personality, and we do know he's an energetic guy who cares a lot about others, and of course he loves carrying the restaurant and preparing food. So yeah, that's the things we know here. Margarita, ham, Hawaiian pepperoni. I think that this is the one she can eat if it's not blocking her. Let's grab a bite. perfect table to be on your own. So she insisted to pay for the unexpected dessert. He mumbled the total amount, and when she was already outside walking back to her place, she noticed that he actually didn't charge her for it, but now it's too late to come back, and the routine here is killing me. She's quite annoyed by it, but she perceives it as inefficient and, well, not fair. He was giving gifts while he was supposed to earn money with that. She's quite annoyed, but nonetheless, she feels a little bit more interested in him too. I will make her work on her programming skill and this contract she's working with, and then write to that. Tomorrow morning, I will have a workout session with our very bestie Liam, but I think that this might be all for today. It has been an honor and a privilege to have you with me today. Please give me your like, your nice comment. Please tell me what you think regarding Samantha and her story and the other characters. Who would you be interested on meet on the next chapters? It would be possible that I play her one more chapter in order to fully finish this year for her, but I hope you have enjoyed your time here. Please share the video with a friend who also likes the narrative driven games, and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next episode. It will be up very, very, very soon. But for now, bye bye!